Hello, everyone. Welcome to She's in Biz TV, a platform where every 20-minute conversation answers the question, how to. I'm your host, Maria Kritikos, the founder of the Ladies Who Lunch Network and creator of the She's in Biz Academy. And today we are talking to LWL member Rigel Jones, who's also our membership manager. Hi, Rigel.
Hello, Maria. Hi, everyone.
So today we're going to talk about productivity, one of my favorite topics and one of Rigel's favorite topics too, I know. So today we're going to answer the question, how to increase your productivity when everything seems to be a priority. I love this title. So Rigel is a mommy of three. She has three girls. She is a productivity junkie and a business systems expert. She has helped numerous entrepreneurs maximize their productivity, including myself, and profit by creating effective business system blueprints. No time or skill to implement? No problem. Rigel can help implement these systems with her virtual assistant company, Simply Assist. And I know some of you in the network have been asking if we know of any good virtual assistants. So here you go. So Rigel, though, is also launching her program called Make Your Bold Move, which is a 90-day group accountability program. And that's going to be awesome because we always talk about accountability being one of the key factors to success. So we will put all of that information in the link below this video, and you can connect with her that way about that. So she loves spending time with her girls, and if you follow her on social media, you can see all the cuteness, right? And but when she doesn't have a baby on her hip, you have I think all of your girls are under 5, but we'll talk about that later. She's either drinking bubble tea, love bubble tea, and trying out new restaurants in Toronto, because Rigel's from the Toronto area, and dancing is also her first love, and I think I caught a glimpse of you dancing on Facebook or something, but anyways, we'll come back to that. You just recently got into that, and that's really important, taking time for yourself as well. So let's get into how long have you been a member of LWL, and what has been one of your greatest benefits?
Okay, so I've been a member for about a year and a half now. Love your coffee. I'm so jealous. I don't have one right
But
now.
I'm 3 hours behind you, right? You're Eastern, I'm Pacific, so.
Oh, right. But yeah, so I've been a member of the LWL for a year and a half now, and the biggest benefit that received from being an LWL member has been the exposure of my brand within the network and the LWL social.
Wait,
So I
wait.
mean, I've been lucky
Rigel,
enough
wait,
to be
it cut
selected.
out. Wait,
Yeah.
it cut out. I heard biggest benefit,
Oh,
exposure of your brand, but what was the second thing?
I'm just saying within the network and also the LWL social following. Yeah. And I've been lucky enough to be selected as an ambassador here in Mississauga.
Yay!
And, so far we hosted one successful coffee last month, and in a couple weeks we're doing another one in the evening. So yeah, and I'm not going anywhere. I'll be in LWL until I'm an old LWL.
Oh my God, you're hilarious. Okay, tell us what you do. I told the ladies, but tell us what you do in 9 words or less. When I ask the network that when we do our coaching, I say, okay, ladies, what do you do in 9 words or less? They're like, I can't possibly condense it into 9 words, but go for it.
Okay. Well, I've had a bit of practice, and I know that I had to put this in my website. So what I do in 9 words or less is I help entrepreneurs find the right business systems for maximize productivity and profit.
I love
There
it.
you go.
Yeah, that's good. That's a very nice opening because people are going to be like, how do you do that? Instead of saying, hi, I'm a virtual assistant, or I'm a real estate agent, or you're solving a problem for people in your introductory line. So that's really cool. Rigel, if I put 100 people in front of you and you could talk about one thing, I know what it's going to be. What would you want to talk to them about?
Oh, I already know what it's gonna be.
Okay, okay.
I like talking about. Um, I actually like talking about people in general, like finding the balance between your life as an entrepreneur, and especially if you have small kids, like small kids like mine. I have a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and an 11-month-old. So I love talking about the things that they do, and I have to integrate that into my day, as long, and also in my business. So they're always a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
Yeah.
So, what has been the biggest piece of advice you've received as an entrepreneur?
Um, the the best piece of advice that
Yes.
I've received would be actually most recently is someone told me that if you think you're progressing slowly, don't worry about it because it's still progress. So, I think that sometimes we need to slow down, and there's nothing wrong with that. It just means you need to take time to take care of yourself, reassess your business, reassess the direction, and finding, that your love again for why you're a business owner. So any progress is progress. So
Yeah.
whether you're, slow or fast at it, then
You're still ahead of the person that is not doing anything at all,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So even baby steps, you're right. As high achievers, we want to have it all. We want it now, and we are very upset as to why it's not here yet. Well, that's
Yeah.
that's me, right? As you know. But we do have to slow down, and we do have to look at the progress that we've made, right? I mean, we're almost at 200 members. When I met you, we were not there, and so like it does happen, and it happens at the right time, and you have to enjoy the whole process. You're absolutely right. What has maybe been like a failure in your business? And I don't like to consider it a failure because I call it learning opportunities, really.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell us about a time when things didn't go so well and how it helped
Um,
you.
well, things didn't go so well when I tried to work with everybody. And, as an entrepreneur, one of the joys that, you know, as an entrepreneur and what I have realized is that you can choose to work with whoever you love and who you want to surround yourself with, right?
Mhm.
Um, a year ago, I was trying to work and please my clients that are not the right fit for me. So therefore, there was like a huge burnout in my health, just the self care. Just forget about it. You're burnt out, and that I think has taught me a lot is that you cannot work with everyone. I
Mhm.
think I can get along with most people, but you're just not the right fit for
But you
everybody,
don't you
right?
don't want you don't want to, right? If there's, I mean, like you said,
Yeah,
you want to surround yourself with, and you want to work with your ideal customer avatar, right? You want to be in your joy when you're working, and that's the whole point of being an entrepreneur is you get to choose um, who you want to do business with, really, right?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So, mhm,
Because and there was a point in time too where I was like, working with people that I didn't love, and it made me think, oh my god, I don't like this. But it's not the business that I don't like.
mhm.
It's well, not the. I hate to sound negative, but it's the people. They're just not the right fit,
Yeah,
right? Maybe looking for somebody else that
yeah.
has different type of personality. So
Yeah. So tell us,
yeah.
let's talk about, I know we're off topic a tiny bit, but who is your ideal customer avatar and who do you really enjoy working with the most?
Well, I love working with female entrepreneurs who have online, business coaching businesses, and I like connecting with moms too because I think we have a lot in common, and people who enjoy life and find that self care is important.
Hmm.
So
Let's talk about self-care, and that it might be some of our tips. I'm not sure, but you talked a little bit about burnout, and it's quite common when you're an entrepreneur. You're trying to do everything, you know. I mean, you wear all the hats, right? Like, accounting, marketing, bookkeeping. I mean, in the beginning, we do everything. So, what would be your greatest tip to avoid burnout?
my greatest tip to avoid burnout is try not to do everything on your own.
Okay, just what I just said. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard when you're starting out too, especially, right?
Hmm.
So if you're thinking about launching a new business, then you have all these ideas, and then you want to implement them, and then you get caught into that, accounting or business planning and all that stuff. So you get burnt out. So try to delegate as much as you can, or hire a coach or an accountability partner.
Hmm.
That way you don't get burnt out, and
Yeah.
then you can really learn your priorities.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. What is the hardest thing about being an entrepreneur? Is it burnout?
I think, yeah, I mean, you can get burnt out, but I think it's finding the balance between business
Mhm.
and life. So, business is part of life, but there's also other aspects of life, like family, your relationships, your social, um, social networking. And I realized that when you're exceeding in one aspect of life, you're really failing in another. And either you accept that and you just do something about it, right?
Mhm.
Um, but you have to try to figure out where to spend your time wisely, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Rigel, what do you think is the key to success as an entrepreneur? What's
Um, Key to success is, like I said, don't try to do it all by yourself.
Mhm.
Okay. And the second thing is set boundaries of what you will and will not do to avoid burnout. So, you have to set limitations to what you're going to do. And like limitations, for example, is creating a customer avatar, right?
Mhm.
You will not work with a particular, business type, right? In the coaching world.
Mhm.
And schedule some time for self care. And whether it's taking a vacation once or twice a year, going to the spa, getting your nails done, your hair done,
Mhm.
making yourself feel good, I think is very, very important, as the key to success.
Yeah, scheduling time for that. Absolutely. I was at a conference the other day. It was called The Art of Leadership, and they talked about oftentimes we need to give our brains a rest. Like that's just the bottom line. And we sometimes our greatest ideas come from when we're doing nothing. We're just really just shutting everything off and just relaxing. And that's often when we get our best ideas. And for me, when I go to yoga and I'm in my namaste, it's like, oh my God, I got this amazing idea. And, sometimes I run out and I'm like, excuse me, can I get a piece of paper? I just want to write. They're like, you should be in yoga class right now. But it's when our minds are relaxed, when we're shutting things off. So we do have to shut off. You're absolutely right. And, we may not have the money to go on vacation or, even get our nails done or go to the spa, but sometimes it's often even just going for a walk in the park, you know, breathing, walking down to the beach, grabbing a coffee and just like sitting at a coffee shop and just watching people go by. That
People watching. I love that.
that is self-care. It depends what your definition is, right?
Yeah, and you have to schedule that time in. Like, let's say I have a client that will not work on a Tuesday and a Friday, even if there's a deadline. She doesn't want anybody working for her, or she does not want to work on a Tuesday and a Friday, and that's for her day to get a massage or something else and do nothing.
Yeah.
And I really respect that,
Yeah.
and I can see how that has been a key to her success. When you're scheduling that time off for self-care.
Yeah. And we're going to be talking about productivity in our virtual coffee. So I'm really excited for that. But today, Miss Rigel, we're going to talk about how to increase your productivity when you think everything is a priority. And I'm actually guilty of that. So we're going to talk about 3 tips.
Well, I think we all get to this point. So that's why it's really important to learn and know what to do when this is happening to you, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So you get into this mode. I call it prioritizing paralysis, because you can't do everything. You can't do anything now because you don't know where to start.
Because you're so overwhelmed, right?
Yeah. Exactly. I need to do this and this and this. So first, number one tip that I have is changing your mindset about priorities. Because if everything is important, then really nothing is important, right? If everything that comes your way or every idea that you find is so important, then nothing is a priority, right? Then you set yourself up kind of for failure if you do that. So you really have to ask yourself: is everything really a priority? When you come to terms that not everything is a number one priority, then you'll be able to see what's really important.
Okay.
So that's tip number one.
Okay, but so I can hear the questions now from the network. They'll be like, okay, fine, Rigel, but then how do I know what is the priority?
Okay, so yes, so that's just the tip number one. It's just changing your mindset.
Okay.
I'll go into number 2.
Okay.
This is the question. But what I wanted to talk about is just the mindset, because when you're really excited about something, especially, and something comes to you, they're like, you want to do it right away, but you may not want to do it right away. It may be, it may not be good strategic business move to do something right away without having to think about like what comes before that.
Okay.
So
Is that,
number 2.
Rigel, before we go on, is that kind of like the shiny object syndrome? As
Yes.
entrepreneurs, we get distracted and pulled in by a lot of different things, right? But it may not fit into the larger picture. So I'll let you get to tip number 2.
Yeah. Okay. So tip number 2 is ask yourself the big picture questions before you invest your time into something.
Mm-hmm.
So one is, can you delegate it? Can you delay it? Can you get rid of it if you get sick for 2 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just think about these things. So when you're listing down your tasks and your ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and ask yourself these questions. Like if you get sick for 2 days and you're down, which can you delay, right? And which can you delegate? And what can you, just say, you know what, I'll just do it later on down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And then also ask yourself, this is really important, which tasks have the most impact on my business?
That's a very good question. You should repeat that again. Repeat that one again.
Okay, so which tasks have the most impact on my business?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also the least.
Oh, very good.
So then that way, you can differentiate. You can even make a different list for the least impact, and the most impact.
Rigel, let me just interrupt you for a second. I believe that's a principle, and I can't remember the guy's name, but it's the 80-20, where it basically says that 20% of your daily activities and what you do in your work are going to result in 80% of your results.
Yeah.
So you need to focus on that 20%, and the rest is kind of all, I don't want to say fluff, but it's like if you really think about what activities do you need to be doing on a daily basis to drive your business forward, and you spend only 20% of your time on that, it'll give you 80% of your results.
Exactly. Yeah. And so part of the other question that you can ask yourself is, can the deadlines be stretched? And, to determine which one you have to do first is which is both urgent and important, right? So, if you have to answer a client email, or, you have to submit a proposal, then those things, they're going to make money for your business. So you want to do that first.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's tip number 2 is ask yourself these big questions. And, the most important one is which tasks have the most impact on my business and which ones have the least. Okay. And
like surfing Facebook, it will not have impact on your business.
Yeah.
Just giving an example. Unless, of course, I'm researching.
Exactly. I actually have like a little alarm that sets off on my phone when to check my Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Because then
you limit yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. So tip number 3.
Tip number 3 is once you've answered those questions, plan ahead. Right? Mm-hmm. It's so easy and it's so cliche to say planning ahead will save you a lot of headache when it comes to, and will save you time from being overwhelmed. But hey, you know what? If you were there, if you were there in the first place, then maybe it's time to really plan ahead. And if you're really overwhelmed, then you're not going to be able to get something done that day. Plan for the next day. Pick 1, 2, or not more than 3 things to do for the following day. So that's the best way to gain clarity again, is just planning for the next day.
Yes, I agree with you. Absolutely. I mean, every night, as basic as it may sound, like I have a little notebook like this, and I write down probably no more than 10 things. Sorry, I know it's probably too much, but like the 10 most important things, and like literally just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I do this the night before and I look at them. I say, okay, Rigel 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, virtual coffee, Andrew 12 o'clock, Marvin 2 o'clock, Faith 3 o'clock, Michael 4:30. Like, okay. And then, but I know what my day is going to look like, right?
Exactly. And those 10 things, they're not all business related, right?
No, one is my parent-teacher interview with my son. Yes, that needs to get done. I need to be there. Yeah. Exactly. So when you do that, it alleviates the stress, Rigel. Like you said, planning your day even at such a basic level, like the top 10 things that I need to get done tomorrow. And then when you wake up in the morning and you look at that, there's less stress. You're like, okay. And then like during the day, you say, is what I'm doing right now contributing to these 10 things that I need to get done? And if it's not, you got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Back on track. Yeah.
And even if for example, you are only listing down 5 things,
Mhm.
right? And then maybe you can break it down. The next 5 things can be for the following day. So, you are evening out
Your
time.
workload. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, I love it. Very good. Very good. Yeah, I know we're going to be talking about productivity in our virtual coffee, but who's your favorite author or book for productivity or time management? I know you've got a few, but just give us one.
David Horsager.
Mhm.
It's this one. I don't know
Yay.
if you know it.
The Daily Edge. I read that
Yeah, you did. You like
because
it?
of you. I listened to it on Audible. Yes.
Oh, okay. I still have to get on that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I love reading this book, and I've already read it twice, so it's my favorite because it doesn't just talk about business; it talks about other aspects.
Yeah.
In your life as
I
well.
love it. It's wonderful. And I like how you say I've reread the book because oftentimes I say I would rather read one book 1,000 times, and get like different insights and knowledge
Yeah,
from it each time than read 1,000 books one time and then kind of, I'm not really sure what I read.
yeah. No, I agree with you because the second time, something else resonated with me. Whereas the first time, I was just kind of looking at the surface level of
Yeah.
of the message.
The Daily Edge by David
Yeah.
Horserager? No.
Horsager. I don't know how to
Hor Horsager. Horsager. Yeah, got it.
Horsager.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, David, if you're listening. We'll we're going to add that to our LWL book club recommendation. We have on Sundays for the LWL network, we recommend books that have made an impact on our lives, either personally or business. And it's a great resource. So every time I want to read a book, I go into the resource center. I'm like, what have the ladies recommended? And I pull books out, which is awesome. Rigel, 2 words of advice that you would give your younger self.
Don't overthink.
Don't overthink. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah. Just do it, right? What's
Yeah.
the problem with overthinking? Why? What's the problem with that?
Well, to my younger self, I know I was getting stuck. I was like, I had feared so many things before.
Mhm.
I was afraid to jump because I was overthinking of, the possibilities of failure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just don't overthink it. Just do it.
Absolutely, because you're just going to stay stuck, right? And nobody, we don't want to be stuck. We want to be moving. So, what's the secret to success in one word?
Ah, I would say for me is love.
Aw.
Okay, as cliche as it may sound, but if you don't love what you do, then you're not going to be really good at it. And if you don't receive love from other people, then you're going to feel empty. And if you don't give love to other people, then
You
it's
can't
just
receive
empty.
it. You have to give to
Exactly.
get. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
So
I
I
have
think
never heard that before. I ask people that question a lot, and I haven't heard love
yeah,
before. Yeah, so that's really nice to hear.
yeah.
Describe yourself in one word.
um, I would say I'm a bubbly person.
Bubbly, yes, vibrant. You're
Yeah.
very vibrant. You have a great energy.
Yeah.
I think I know the answer to this, but early bird or night owl?
I'm an early bird. I'm most
Hmm.
productive in the morning. I mean, I do stay up late,
Hmm.
but I'm not very productive when I'm staying up late.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
you're both. You're an early bird and a night owl, and you know that I go to bed at like 8 p.m. So you're like, yep, I know. Oh my gosh, Regal. Let's review your 3 tips again. So how to be
Okay.
productive when you think everything is a priority. Tip number 1.
Tip number 1 is changing your mindset about your priorities. So come to terms that not everything has to be important or number 1. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is ask yourself big picture questions before you invest your time, um, such as which tasks have the most impact in your business and which ones have the least. If the deadline can be stretched and which ones can you delegate.
Mhm.
Okay. And tip number 3 is very, very important as well. Plan ahead. Okay. Plan the next day, plan for over the next 3 days, make a list of what you're going to do, and write them down. Really, really write them down. I know Maria is big on writing your goals down and writing,
Yeah.
your list. Yeah, your goals for the day, your goals for the year, your goals for the next 3 months.
It's really important. Absolutely.
Yeah. So on top of this planning, you have to write down your plan.
Absolutely. And the book that you recommend is The Daily Edge.
Yes.
And Rigel, what is the best way for people to connect with you other than being a member of LWL?
Well, the best way for people to connect with me is on Facebook. So I'm there as Rigel Jones. And then you can contact me by email at rigel@rigeljones.com.
Yep, and your website is rigeljones.com. It has a fresh new look. Looks great. Love it. So ladies, thank you so much for being on this episode of She's in Biz TV. And if you'd like to join this global community of women in business, fashion, and philanthropy, really living their dream and helping others do the same, we are offering an exclusive 30-day free trial. Just head over to www.joinlwl.com. Rigel Jones, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much, Maria.
Okay.
And have a good day, everybody.
Take care. Bye for now.